them. This is the VOD that I already shared on our group chat. I'm not sure how many of you actually watched it. I've been keeping watching it. There are a lot of key tips that I got it from her, and then I applied it. It's pretty useful. And if you don't know her well, if anybody attended a Success Academy, yes, there's a guest speaker, Imperial Master Kim, right? And he mentioned it on that Success Academy that he has Mike, do you remember how many royal masters in his family?
All I remember is seven family.
Okay. I think that's around that number, right? So except Imperial Master Kim, there are like I think 7 or 8 family members are already royal masters, and they are royal leaders club too, which means like everybody like earning like more than 200,000. And she is a daughter. She is a daughter of Imperial Master Kim, and you all be really amazed with her age. Yes, she's not 30 yet. She started when she was 20, and she's still 20. I think next year she will turn 30. But the stories she will share, the lecture, the content she has you won't believe her age, because she's been doing Atomy for 9 years. And imagine, even doing even 1 week, you get rejections. But 9 years, of course, she went through a lot. So she's sharing her tips from those 9 years of experience. There are a lot of useful information I was able to catch. So I'll be sharing some of it. So she was sorry. 1 second. So basically, her lecture title itself, it was Auto Sales Master, but I'm not just going to focus on the Auto Sales Master, just focus on the basic, how you're going to create a consumers, how you're going to challenge. Basically, Sales Master, Auto Sales Master, it's the same term. We call it Sales Master because when you don't have a title, of course, the first level you're going to challenge, we call it Sales Master. But once you maintain the title, we call it Auto Sales Master. Because when I keep on saying Auto Sales Master, one member thought actually they're going to see that Auto Sales Master on the website, on their My Page, My Office. But no, that's just a title that we're calling. When you're maintaining your title, which means when you're maintaining the requirement to become a sales master, we call it Auto Sales Master. We'll go over that detail later on. Same as a sales master, you won't be able to challenge you for sales master when you don't have any members, of course. You need a customers. Same as Auto Sales Master, you need a customers, but you're not going to depend on the customers. That's what she's trying to say. Because people say, oh, I cannot become an Auto Sales Master because I don't have enough customer. If you don't have enough customer, you have to go out and look for the new customers. You cannot just rely on your success of becoming an Auto Sales Master based on auto consumers. If you're just relying on auto consumers, it will take longer than the rest of the people who's really going out there and look for new customers. And she asked, how much, do you know how much I'm making? And so instead of she just exactly mentioning the figure she's making it, she mentioned that she just paid the $50,000 for the text previous year. And this summer, just like a month ago, Atomy Korea announced Crown Leaders Club. Crown Leaders Club is the people who are making more than 400,000 a year. So she is the youngest leader to join the Crown Leaders Club. And she empathizes for, sales master, Auto Sales Master. She kind of really empathizes. You really need to achieve it on your own, because that's the mastership. That's the mastership or the level you can achieve really with your own ability. Because as we know, if you can picture the diagram to go for Diamond Master or rest of the higher levels, you really need at least 4 partner, talent, but sales master, auto sales master, it's really based on the volume of the points you're getting. So that's easy to achieve. Okay. So that's the same thing that I have said, right? So during during her lecture, she also mentioned Atomy officially announced it takes average, right? The average, 2 years and 6 months to become an auto sales master. Actually, they haven't really. She didn't really exactly mention whether it's for the part timer, full timer, but I think it's overall. Overall, official time to become auto sales master in Atomy, it came up with average 2 years and 6 months. So some people ask me a question, Ari, I become a sales master, but I'm not auto sales master yet. Once you become a sales master, very next month, of course, you won't be auto sales master unless you have that much, the consumers. After you become a sales master, that's another step for you to climb. So average is 2 years and 6 months. So don't feel bad even if you don't become auto sales master in a year or in 2 years. Average is 2 years and 6 months. But what she thought, it's too long for her. She wanted to become earlier. That's why she made her own plans, because her goal was to become auto sales master within a year or year and a half. And one thing that she have noticed it, and she doesn't like those people. She said from her group, even from her group, there are some people just waiting sponsors to help out or partners to work on. They're not really doing anything, but they want their partners to go crazy with Atomy and then make this business big without them getting involved. If you're just waiting for something to be happened with other people's help, it's not easy. Like Mike also mentioned just previous the VOD lecture, right? Luck doesn't come to everybody, right? Yes, there are some people who get lucky very easy. They get lucky members easily, but it doesn't happen to everybody. So we cannot rely on our success to somebody else. We need to go and look for our own success and then our own lucks. And you cannot, I'm just going to emphasize what she said once again, right? The screen capture that I did it. You cannot just rely on auto consumers. In our words, auto consumers, even CEO Park, every leader just mentioning the word auto consumers. Yes, it's automatic consumer, but you really have to know the exact definition of auto consumer. The CEO Park's version of auto consumer, it's in person, like one member, that auto consumer, what he or she needs to do, they need to consume at least 100,000 PV worth of product. So when I say 100,000 worth of PV product, probably in your mind, in your head, you can run down what number of product they need to consume. Of course, they need to consume HEMO-HIM. Without HEMO-HIM, the rest of the product PV is not that high. So in order for one person to consume 100,000 PV a month, they're basically Atomy product lovers. They're basically change half of their household items to Atomy. If they're only using, let's say, toothpaste regularly, you don't call them auto consumers. Auto consumer, in order for you identify your member as an auto consumer, they need to spend in Canada, I will say, not on the contract, at least 50,000 a month. 50,000 PB a month, then you can consider them as an auto consumer. And it doesn't stop there. Those are the people they will consume. They will go to website and purchase the product on their own without bothering you. And what else do? They also share Atomy to other people. They're not really into making commissions or sharing a business, but since they love Atomy products, they are willing to share Atomy products to the people they know. So those are the auto consumers. So in order for you to create auto consumers, you can tell that it's not that easy, and it won't happen overnight. So when you're building auto consumers, at the same time you have to look for new people, because you cannot make all your people on the lineage to turn as auto consumers. So how are you gonna do that? People on your lineage, yes, you want them to turn into auto consumers. At the same time, you need to put your effort. You need to put 100% of your effort to look for new customers to your lineage. You have to keep on adding members to your lineage. The reason I captured the screen, so this was she was explaining on the board, right? Remember, her goal was to become auto sales master. So after sales master, becoming auto sales master, she wanted to complete it within year or year and a half. That's why she planned it out. You know the number you see on the top of the board? It says 1 to 3, 4 to 6, 7 to 9, 10 to 11, 10 to 12. That's the number she breaks down, the month. So if she planned for the whole year, what she need to do every period, right? 1 to 3 months, what she need to do, 4 to 6, what she need to do, and then the rest. So what she explained on the first 3 months, right? January to, let's say the first 3 months. I wouldn't say January to March, but first 3 months, you need to study. Study means you're confident in Atomy. In order for you to have a confidence in Atomy, you need to know. Without knowing much information, when you share, there is no power in your voice. So there are a lot of video clips, or like information that we share in WhatsApp. There's so many informations out there. You need to go and gather and make it as yours. So you will have confidence to share about the product or company or the compensations. And she also talked about creating your goal. The creating goal is not just in Atomy, creating the dream or goal in your life. What would you like to achieve through Atomy? So because of that goal, you will not stop, not quitting Atomy, and then you will overcome those challenges. And of course, part of that month, you have to create your contact list, right? But one tip I got from her, when you're creating a contact list, because for me, I would just tell my members, writing down your names by groups, right? On a piece of paper, if you can write down your the people that you know, categorize them by group, right? Or friends or family, the friend from church, a friend from school. But how she categorized it, this is what she said. Write down the product. And amazing thing is, she was able to become auto sales master when there were only 6 products. And you wonder what their products are. There was a Hemohim, there was a 6 skincare set, evening care set, toothpaste, and the calming skin. I forgot the one product. I think the toothbrush. So imagine there are only Hemohim, 6 skincare set, evening care set, toothpaste, and calming skin, and then the toothbrush. Even just that product, she was able to become auto sales master. So you can imagine how hard she worked to get those customers. So when she creating a contact list, this is how she did. By product. So for example, Hemohim, let's say for us, example, Hemohim, Absolute, Evening Care, right? Like probiotic. Buy those products. Who are you going to introduce? So that's a similar thing that as a Mike said, right? Find their needs. Instead of begging them to buy the product, find their needs. Maybe some people are ill, some people are really lack of energy, some people really need to increase the immune system. And know your people. Hemohim, write down those names. Skincare, write down those names. So when you're contacting them, you exactly know what to introduce. So when she created a contact list by product, she was able to get better results with it. And when she write those contact lists, she says she really profiled them. by gender, by age, how much they can afford. But of course, she said, of course, you're not going to ask, oh, how much are you earning? You won't be able to ask a direct question. But how she asked, this is what she said. The people usually she met, I think, was like aunties, right? Because when she did Atomy, she was only like 22, 21. So all the older people she meets, she called the aunties. Auntie, per month, how much can you actually spend for yourself, right? From the money from the salary you're earning, because of course she's not going to ask how much is your salary, but she will ask indirectly, from your earning, how much you use for yourself. And she figured it out. Most people usually say, oh, you know what, from my earning, I think I can spend around $200 to $300 a month. Then from the figure, she come up with the list of the product that she can introduce, right? Because they mentioned it. They mentioned it, $200 to $300. That's what they can spend monthly for themselves. Then she come up with the product list. Okay, since they can spend that much money for themselves, this is a product I will introduce them to purchase. And since she came up with a direct plan, what to do with her contact list, she said it wasn't successful time, but her results are better than when she just contacted those people without special planning. And another thing she shared, at first, when she started Atomy, she didn't even have a warm market. Warm market means, people that she already knows, like her family members or relatives. But when she joined, all her relatives are Atomy members already, because her parents are doing Atomy already. Her uncle is doing Atomy already. So her family members, relatives are already into Atomy. So she had nobody to register, basically. So she was really going out there looking for new customers. But she figured out it takes a long time. It's really hard. So later, this is how she did it. Do you see the one that she drew a picture here? This one? This is what she's saying. She contacted one customer, right? So this customer become a regular customer, and then what she did, this auntie, if you like a product, if you like, can you introduce at least just one friend? I don't even need a two friend, just at least one friend. Can you think of one person that you can introduce that to me? And from her experience, they always come up with the one name. Because since you mentioned, oh, I don't even need a two. If you can just give me if you can just introduce at least one person, who would that be? They always come up with the person, and then you introduce that person. But she said it's better than the cold contact because this person already knows this person. So this person trusts Atomy already because introduced by the friend. And this person used the product, and you go to the person and ask, auntie, if you like the product, can you at least introduce to one friend? And then she continued her lineage in that way. And compared to when she did a cold contact, when she asked for the referral from her existing members, she figured that more speeds, and she was able to get trust from those members. Because, Atomy is a relations business. So as long as you get the trust from those members, business becomes a bit easier. Because any product that you're going to introduce or any suggestion you're going to make, they'll trust you. They'll trust your judgment. So I think I really like the way she did it. And then there's another leader who also mentioned about this one. Always ask for referrals, because we all have a limited number of people that we know. That's why the Mike also mentioned to collect friends, right? But that's also hard for some people. Then ask a referral from your existing members who loves Atomy product, right? And I'm sure we can get at least one referral from them. And next thing she shared. And see, she also mentioned here, she said the most important thing is anything you have learned from she said, anything that we have learned from her lecture, don't just put it in your mind. You have to really go out in a field and experience it, right? Because what you have learned from VOD, it will be different when you actually apply on the field. So don't whatever we have learned from her lecture, practice, test on the real field, and probably we can come up with our own tips too. And next one she mentioned. Okay, so this is the second part, right? So from first to 3 months, that's what she was doing. Last 4 to 6 months, I think this is according to the ASAP to success, right? So the fourth month she started. So she has a lot of people that she created, contacted, and then she put it on the lineage, and she will start inviting them. But as we all know, inviting people to Atomy system is the hardest part. I think I shared many times that I didn't have anybody to bring for the meetings or seminars for the first 3 months. I just went to seminar meetings by myself, right? But I didn't feel any shame or feeling lonely because at that moment I was really crazy with Atomy. So regardless of who's coming with me, I just want to go and learn, right? So I know, but I went there because I have nobody to invite. True, but I did send out the invitation to the many people that I know. But everybody says no, so I just went there by myself. So if you tell me you cannot really invite anybody, it's not your fault. It's hard. We know that. It is very hard to invite people, even just a central meeting, even a Zoom meeting. Any gathering that we have, inviting new people to the system that we have, it is hard. But the good thing is we have an amazing system, right? So most people, if they come, right? If they come, one condition, right? If they come with an open-minded, most people that I've seen who come to Success Academy or one-day seminar, maybe they're not really jump into business, but they really become a good customer, and then more likely they will become as a business partners. Right? So yes, it is hard, but we need to keep on inviting them to Atomy success system. And after we invite, what do? We show the plan. So this is the one thing that she mentioned. I was really amazed. When she started it, the first 3 months, that's what the practice she did. And she started inviting people to the one-day seminar, but nobody wanted to listen because she was too young. When she asked other people there's a good MLM, let's do it together, people wouldn't trust her. People wouldn't believe her because people think that she's a lack of experience or lack of life experience also. But 1 or 2 aunties start coming, and she remembered what CEO Park said. If you don't know how to explain, if you don't know how to make them do business, just bring them to the seminar. I will do the talk. So she started bringing people, the aunties, to the seminars. And once they listen to CEO Park, they make their own decision to do the business. So from there, she's slowly having the business partners. And the first presentation she needed to do at the center, she said she practiced, but at the front of the people she invited she stuttered. She didn't know what she was talking about, and then she felt so embarrassed. So what she did, she said she practiced because she doesn't want to have the moment anymore. So she practiced how to explain the product, compensation, Atomy vision. But not only that, I put it down here. She prepared presentation for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Oh, it's like a 30-minute, not 320 minutes. Yep, 30 minutes or 1 hour, 2 hours. The reason she prepared Atomy explanation for that different time period, because sometimes you meet somebody, you meet your friend, right? And your friend goes, you know what, I'm too busy. I only have 5 minutes. Then what are you going to explain the 5 minutes? And some people you meet and you know what, actually I only have 3 minutes. So can you eat it? And she will come up with the she can't explain in a 30 minute. Now she's been doing Atomy for years. If somebody tells, okay, 5 minutes, she can just read it out. She can just say it out. For her, she said it was her own effort to really come up with that, study and come up with the script, because she doesn't want to have that embarrassing moment where she couldn't really explain or do a presentation at the center. So she practiced. And she practiced not only for the whole Atomy presentation in different time period. So if somebody asks for a 20 minutes lecture or like 10-minute explanation, she'll be able to do it. And in order to do that, we need to input our own effort and time to build our knowledge. See, it's all here too. Number 5 from Mike's 7 list was always be prepared, right? She also said it. You need to be ready. You need to be prepared. You need to be prepared all the time to share Atomy or support your partners. Okay. There are many things, but this one was really helpful. Always check your lineage. And this is what she said. Do you see these 5 categories, this list over here? This is what she mentioned. Not on the, we usually see our lineage on our computers, right? But this is what she did. On a big piece of paper, I mean, if you can write small, it can be small piece of paper too. But she said, in a big piece of paper, maybe the drawing pages or like, those big, what do you call it, like art craft papers. On the big piece of paper, she started drawing her lineage, right? She drew out the lineage, and she said, at the beginning time, if you have like 50 members, 30 members, of course you can draw out your each members, right? But if you have more than 100 people, of course you won't be able to draw like every single members on the piece of paper. Then what do you do at the time? Those key customers or key leaders, right? The people that are actually purchasing or actually who's doing the business. So on that piece of paper, on that paper, big paper, you will draw out your lineage. And then you start categorizing. And she advised, if you have a different color of a highlighter or coloring pencil will help. And she mentioned about the red for just the consumers, right? Just consumer, and the yellow for the star consumers. Star consumer, which means like auto consumers. They'll regularly purchase it, minimum like 100,000 or 50,000 PV, and they also introduce other people. So you categorize differently from consumer or super consumers, right? And the different, let's say green for the supporter. They are consumers, but not business partner yet, but they're in the kind of borderline. You color them in a green, and with let's say blue, you will color a member who's a part-timer, right? And then with a different color, let's say pink, you will color for the full-timer. So by categorizing your lineage with the colors, you know where to put your focus, right? And then it can give you either maybe you're putting attention to the wrong person. Because that's what one thing she mentioned, that she goes before not really analyzing a lineage, she was spending a time to a member who's not even potential, right? And then there were actually a potential partner, but she was missing out. But for her opening her lineage, really studying her lineage, she was able to really identify who can be a key leader, or who can be a key customer, but can be a potential leader. She was able to find the right direction or avoid making many mistakes. And one thing she have noticed it, so you need to carry that lineage with you, right? And when you meet you just meet a customer and you open up a lineage, but the customer happen to have, those part-timer, full-timer, or super partner as downline, tell them, you know what? Look at this lineage. You have all those people in different category under you, and they kind of motivate them to get involved into the business. Because as a customer, even you probably have noticed it, many of the customers that we have, they're not even going to our website. Even if you tell them there are so many people registered under them, they don't care, because they don't even know what's a lineage, how the members can be under them, because really out of their focus or their attention. But by her method, right, you already print it out. You already have the lineage on your hand, on that paper. So just by showing them, it kind of give them, it kind of motivate them to get involved, because they don't have to start from the scratch. They already have a people doing business or purchasing a product. And I just mentioned earlier that by analyzing your lineage, you'll be able to make less mistake less mistake on focusing on the right person instead of the wrong person, because that happens to me too, right? There are certain partner or a certain leader that I think I'm expecting a certain results from them, so I'm really focusing on it. But eventually, they're not the key leader. Eventually, key leader was kind of like way all the way down, which I wasn't really spotting it. But it happened because I didn't really see thoroughly with my lineage. So with the lineage, I think it's kind of fun thing to do, right? It's part of coloring. So with our lineage, open it up and we can analyze who we can focus more, who are part-timer, full-timer, just consumers, super consumers. Because super consumers, with once you share the vision of Atomy, they're more likely turn into the business partner. Because super consumer, which means they already fell in love with our product, but once they know the vision or they know how much they can make with Atomy, they will slowly jump into business. Yeah. And I think that's it. But from what she mentioned, she said in Atomy, your successes start from the Referrals master. But she said no. For her own opinion, she personally thinks that sales master, becoming sales master, and the maintaining auto sales master, that's your self achievement, right? Because that's something you can achieve even without the help from the partner. That's what you can do it. Right? If your partners help out, of course, it can be easier, but that's something you can control, right? Easy word here is you can control. Even from Diamond Master, Auto Diamond, it's really out of your control because that really requires a teamwork, right? You need a cooperation from your team members. But Sales Master, Auto Sales Master, it's really your own effort. How far are you willing to go? How much are you really willing to sacrifice to achieve the goal that you want? But for her achieving that auto sales mastership, she said she achieved it as she planned it, year and a half. She was able to share more because like she had a confident that she was able to achieve it according to her plan, so she can help more of her partners to go to the same direction. So I think that's something we need to do, right? We need to try it out first. What worked, what didn't work. Everything becomes an asset. Not everybody wants to just become successful without the failure, but you have no story. Because many people will not go to that easy direction. We all face challenges, obstacles or rejections. So more experience you have, more assets that more experience you can share to your partners. Because all our partners going through all different things. And they always come and ask for the consultation. So more experience we have, more we can share. So don't feel afraid for getting rejections or fail in some situations. Everything can be a learning lesson for us. I kind of like this one. In order to become 1%, you must do what the other 99% won't do. So I'll just finish my system here and I'll just open it up and we can share thoughts or questions.
No.
Thanks.
No.
Can you go back to the few slides?
Yeah, which one? I'll just go.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this one.
This one?
No, after this.
This.
Oh. Okay, that's it.
What does that mean? First 1 to 3 months, or
Oh, so like she mentioned, she had a goal to become auto sales master year or year and a half. That was her goal. That's her personal goal, right?
okay.
So she divided what she need to do. No, she divided into like 4 period,
Mhm.
right? First 3 months, second 3 months, third 3 months, and last 3 months.
Mhm.
So she categorized those time, what she need to do during those period. Get
So
that part?
every 3 months that she makes a goal, right? Every
So
3 months.
basically, like the first 3 months, she
Mhm.
studied. She learned about Atomy, right?
Right.
And she created a goal. And she created
Mhm.
contact. That's what she did on the first 3 months.
Right.
Right. So when I was listening to it, when I was reading down her, what do you call it, her writing on the board, it's more likely she's following the A step to success, because that's what we do, right? Create a goal, and then you determine to do it, and then you create a contact list. That's like a number 1 to 3.
Right.
Right. So basically,
Yeah.
that's what she did on the first 3 months when she decided, okay, from like within this
Mhm.
year, I'll become auto sales master. That's the plan that she made it.
Mhm.
Right. So first 3 months, this is what I will do. So on the list, it says if I go, the first one is studying. I'm studying about the product, marketing, Atomy vision, and about the company. And she create a the life scenario, right? She created a life scenario, what she would like to do, and then what she can do. And
Right.
then she make a decision to do it, and then she create a contact list. And then this is explanation about like how she create a contact list, what method was working well for her.
Mhm.
Right. So this was the first 1 to 3 months, and then she talked about like this one, it's the 4 to 6 months.
Right.
Right. So now she have created a contact list, right? And now she contacted the people. So which means she has a people on her lineage already. So she start inviting those people. And then she herself introducing Atomy to those people.
Mhm.
So that's how she divided her. So her way of achieving her goal. So she divided into
Right.
different, from a whole year, she divided into four big terms. And the first term, that's what she will do. Second term, third term, fourth term. And she says that's her own thing. So we don't have to follow the whole year break into 3 months. Even some people, she said, some people even become a sales master after 5 months, right? Because they kind of shortened, they kind of fast track.
Yeah.
But at least that was a kind of step by step for her, what she did to build her Atomy network. So with just a 6 number of products, she was able to achieve auto sales. Because to us, that's amazing, isn't it? Right? Because only 6 products, how you'll be able to become auto sales master after a year.
Mhm.
But she doesn't say much. But I'm sure she really didn't sleep and then go out and meet all the people she could meet. But the way she follow up, or the way she analyzed her lineage, was a bit different method than what I ever heard from other leaders before.
Yeah. Every leader has different approach.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So we just have to, because we cannot really follow everything. And then even though we follow, it doesn't mean that we're going to get the same result. So whatever
No.
kind of works for us. Right. But from her, the reason I kind of liked her, I watched her several times, because it was something we can easily relate it to. Right. Of course, we can ask for referrals. That's something easily we can do. And then, like drawing up the lineage and then like identifying them, that's something we can do.
Mhm.
right? So whatever we think we can easily try it out. Let's see whether it will work or not.